I like to start by making this disclaimer. This is a student presentation using a hypothetical scenario for educational purposes. The presenter is a student at UAMS, not a representative of the agency named in the following slides. The information contained here does not necessarily reflect the views of said agency. My name is Jaron Watkins. I'll be discussing transparency in dining, evaluating the case for public restaurant inspection reports in Arkansas. Today I'll be discussing to our local government and the Arkansas Health Department on why restaurant inspection reports should be made public within the restaurant and also on their website. So today I will discuss what actually goes into restaurants' health grading. I will also discuss the potential positive impact on making restaurant inspection reports public on consumer health awareness. This point will emphasize on how access to inspection reports can empower consumers to make an informed decision about where they want to eat, which can ultimately help reduce the risk of foodborne illness. I'll also explore the effectiveness of public health disclosure and motivating restaurants to maintain high hygiene standards. It will highlight some studies demonstrating how public reporting can lead to improved compliance with health regulations among food establishments. And I'll also discuss the stakeholders' perspectives, including those of restaurant owners, citizens, and health department officials, regarding the feasibility and practicality of implementing public disclosure measures. This point will also address some potential challenges and strategies for addressing them as well. So what actually goes into the health grade reports? We usually just see a letter grade of an A, B, or C, or even the temporary close sign. So some of the factors that go into this is health practices, and so that in companies employs hand washing protocols and the availability of hand washing facilities and stations in the restaurant, as well as the cleanliness of kitchen surfaces, utensils, and other equipment, and also the use of gloves and other protective gear to prevent food contamination. Another part of this is also food handling and storage goes into the grading. So this is just basically the proper storage of raw ingredients to prevent cross-contamination, adequate refrigeration and temperature control to minimize bacterial growth, as well as safe handling practices to avoid contamination during food preparation. Another factor is temperature control. So this is the monitoring and maintaining of proper cooking temperatures to ensure food safety, thawing of frozen foods in a safe manner to prevent bacterial growth, and the holding of cold foods at appropriate temperatures to prevent spoilage. Another part will be cleaning and sanitation practices. So just like regular cleaning and disinfections of food contact surfaces and maintaining clean restroom and dining areas, as well as pest controls and way to prevent infestations if that were to occur. Another huge part would be employee training and certification. So making sure that the training programs for employees on food safety practice and regulations are up to date, and also to ensure that the food handlers are in their training, have proper training and be able to handle the food correctly. And overall, cleanliness and maintenance. So general cleanliness of the restaurants, including floors, walls, ceilings, and also the proper maintenance of equipment and facilities to prevent hazards or contaminations. And also make sure that they're compliant with our local health codes and regulations regarding restaurant cleanliness and sanitation. Now that we have the foundation of knowing what actually goes into a restaurant's grade, let's discuss the impact on consumer health awareness. So customers expect that each restaurant will demonstrate how they are adhering to safety protocols. Restaurants are publishing their policies through signage, flyers, their added takeout orders, social media posts, and updated website language, or even some of the safety protocols that are updated to review food critic sites or review sites such as Yelp. So actually making these restaurant inspection reports public can significantly impact consumer health awareness. When consumers have access to these reports, they are better equipped to make more informed decisions about where they choose design. This was demonstrated in studies through Smith and et al. Has shown that when consumers are aware of restaurants' inspection results, they tend to favor establishments with higher scores, indicating better compliance with health regulations. And this awareness can lead to a reduction in the incidence of foodborne illnesses, as consumers are more likely to avoid establishments with a poor inspection report. And this has also been shown in another study done by Firestone. So Disclosing inspection ratings at the point of service was associated with a 55% reduction when compared to disclosing only online. With that being said, I would like to focus more on a in-person rating versus an online. Both would be really helpful in bringing down the foodborne illness and just helping allowing the customers to have more awareness and giving them more power. But having that more in person allows them to, as shown, have more of a reduction in foodborne illnesses and the potential to have better access to where they want to dine. With that being said, I would like to discuss the effectiveness of public disclosure. Public disclosure and inspection reports have been shown to be effective in motivating restaurants to maintain high standards of hygiene and food safety. According to a study done by Brown, they found that restaurants subject to public disclosure were more likely to improve their compliance with health regulations compared to those without such disclosure. This suggests that the prospect of public scrutiny encourages restaurants to prioritize food safety practices, leading to a safer dining environment for the consumers. Disclosure of inspection scores is also a tool used by public authorities to steer consumers in their restaurant choices. Public disclosure of restaurant inspection scores increases the transparency, the simplicity, and availability of food inspection results. Studies have shown that disclosure of inspection scores have shifted demand towards more of a hygienic food establishment. As a result, disclosures positively affect compliance with hygiene standards, which is going to overall enhance the food safety standards in the dining environment. I will now discuss the stakeholder perspectives, including those of restaurant owners, customers, health department officials, in regard to the feasibility, practicality of implementing public health disclosure measures. I'll also address some potential challenges and strategies to address them. According to an article, there has been strong support for transparency among customers and health officials. However, there has been a little bit of concern from restaurant owners about the reputational damage that can occur from posting health grades in restaurants. Concerns from restaurant owners about reputational damage stem from the potential business impact of negative publicity resulting from poor inspection scores. In a competitive industry, such scores can defer customers, leading to decreased revenue and potential closure. Moreover, poor inspection scores may also create negative perceptions of the restaurant's quality and safety standards, contributing to the social stigma and damaging its public image. Restaurant owners also argue that public disclosures lacks context and fairness, as temporary issues or isolated incidents may disproportionately affect scores without affecting the establishment's overall commitment to hygiene. However, these concerns have been taken into consideration by health officials. Standardization and fairness is one of the big things that they harp on. Making restaurants' inspection reports public ensures standardization and fairness in the enforcement of health regulations. Allowing equal access to inspection results eliminates any perception of favoritism or bias in the inspection process. This transparency promotes fairness with food service industries, fostering a level playing field where all establishments are held to the same health and safety standards. and shown in a study in the report by Keith and the City of Health, there was a common theme across all stakeholder types, which was the need for inspector standardization and consistency. Without sufficient standardization, violations may be cited inconsistently due to improper variability. A lack of consistency can undermine the grading program if consumers cannot reasonably rely on the objectivity of these posted grades. A best practice is to ensure that inspector standardizations prior to and when implementing the grading program. Stakeholders also identified a need for ongoing training and inspection standardization following adoption of restaurant grading policy. Some other stakeholders have shown that and this enhances public health trust in the government. Publicly disclosing restaurant inspection reports demonstrate government's transparency and accountability, fostering trust among citizens. While practically sharing information about food safety inspections, government agencies demonstrate their commitment to protecting public health and safety. This transparency not only strengthens the relationship between government agencies and the public, but also encourages greater civic engagement and participation in matters related to public health. Here is a quote by a restaurant industry representative. Consumers are generally for this. It gives them an easy way to understand what they feel are so complex issues, but also gives them a clue to where or what not to eat. Publicly disclosing restaurants' inspection reports grades is super feasible and has shown major success in other big cities like New York and Los Angeles County. Los Angeles County showed a 13.1 reduction in hospitalizations due to foodborne illness, while in New York, just after 18 months, their grading program showed a survey of adults, 91% supported the program. About 88 considered their grade in their final dining decision, and 76 felt more confident in a restaurant's food safety when they saw an A posted within the restaurant. And to ensure the success, we have to keep stakeholders involved. This involves maintaining open communication channels, organizing regular meetings and workshops for feedback, and involving stakeholders in decision-making processes. Tailored outreach and education efforts should be implemented to address specific stakeholder concerns, while advisory committees or task force can provide ongoing guidance and oversight. Implementing feedback mechanisms and ensuring transparency and accountability throughout the process are essential for promoting stakeholder engagement and effectiveness of public health outcomes. It is also equally as important to show proper education when rolling out grading programs. It has been stated that stakeholders found it equally as important to educate consumers on how to interpret a restaurant's grade. With that being said, it is very feasible and it should be implemented within Arkansas City to have public health inspection report grades posted within the restaurant within Arkansas City's lines in the counties in the city. This will entail be able to reduce hospitalizations due to foodborne illnesses, empower consumers to where and what to eat, and overall provide a better public health outcome within Arkansas City. And lastly, here are the references I use.